Hey everyone, I'm Blake, and welcome back to Built by Becker. Hold on to your paintbrushes because this video might just save you thousands of dollars and weeks of regret. You see these paint swatches? In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you which of these incredibly popular colors are officially going out of style in 2025. I don't want you to be outdated, so we're going to make sure that doesn't happen to you. But don't worry, I'm not just going to leave you hanging with blank walls. For each outdated trend, I'll show you exactly what to use instead to keep your space looking fresh and current. Let's do this. First up on our thanks for the memories, but it's time to go list is a color that rode the biophilic design wave right into everyone's homes. And if you're sitting there thinking, bio, what now? Don't worry, I got you. Biophilic design is basically that whole bringing the outside in movement that had us all trying to turn our homes into personal nature retreats. I'm talking about sage green and mint green, folks. These colors were everywhere. Your neighbor's kitchen, sage green. That bathroom renovation you saw on Pinterest, mint green. That cool coffee shop that just opened downtown, you guessed it, some variation of muted green. Now, don't get me wrong, these colors had their moment, and for good reason. They gave bathrooms that spa-like zen vibe we all craved, and they made kitchens feel fresh and different. Plus, who doesn't want their home to feel more serene? But here's the thing, when something becomes this oversaturated, it loses that special quality that made it exciting in the first place. In 2025, these light muted greens are starting to feel about as surprising as finding a Starbucks in a mall. So what should you do instead? Well, if you're still feeling the green vibes, because there's nothing bad about it, but it's time to go bold or go home. Designers are leaning into darker, richer greens that add some serious drama to your space. Let me introduce you to Evergreens by Sherwin-Williams. It's like sage green's sophisticated older sibling who studied abroad and came back with an accent. This deep, rich green is perfect for creating a moody, grounded space. Think home library vibes or a killer accent wall in your dining room. Another option is Vintage Vogue 462 by Benjamin Moore. It's this gorgeous earthy olive green that somehow manages to be both classic and totally current. It's got these muted undertones that keep it from screaming, "Look at me," while still being interesting enough to make your guests ask for the paint code. But hey, maybe you're ready to break up with green entirely. I get it, sometimes you need a clean slate. In that case, check out Honeytone by Becker. It's this warm, muted golden yellow that's like sunshine in a paint can, but make it sophisticated. It's unexpected enough to be interesting, but not so wild that you'll regret it in 6 months. But if you do go with one of those deeper greens, pair it with warm wood tones. Trust me, it's a combo that never misses. Or go for a crisp white like alabaster for contrast. That'll make the color pop without feeling harsh. Now buckle to our second outdated trend. We need to talk about gray. Yes, that gray. The color that's been the backbone of modern interior design for what feels like forever. For more than a decade, gray was basically the Switzerland of neutrals. It went with everything, offended no one, and was generally considered a safe bet. Whether you were team warm gray or team cool gray, it was the go-to for walls, cabinets, and pretty much everything in between. It was perfect for that minimalist modern look everyone was after. But hear me out. As we roll into 2025, gray is starting to feel about as exciting as doing your taxes. People are craving spaces with more personality, more warmth, more life. Gray's biggest crime? It reminds people of office cubicles and hospital waiting rooms. Not exactly the vibe we're going for in our homes, right? So what's taking gray's place as the new neutral MVP? Let me introduce you to some colors that'll make your space feel like a warm hug instead of a cold handshake. First up is Caramelized by Dunn Edwards, their 2025 color of the year. And let me tell you, they nailed it. Imagine a terracotta pot met a cozy sweater and had a paint baby. It's this soft brown with just enough orange undertones to keep it interesting without going full pumpkin spice. Then we've got Stucco by Sherwin-Williams, which is basically what would happen if beige went to therapy and came back more grounded and self-assured. It's warm, it's soft, and it makes every room feel like it's bathed in golden hour lighting. And for those of you who aren't ready to go cold turkey on gray, there's Wheat Sheaf by Benjamin Moore. Think of it as gray's more emotionally available cousin. It's got that neutrality you love about gray, but with enough warmth to actually feel inviting. The key to making these new neutrals work is all in the styling. Layer in natural textures like jute rugs or rattan furniture, add some contrast with black accents or those deep greens we talked about earlier. The goal is to create a space that feels lived in and loved. All right, let's talk about the third color that's showing itself out in 2025, Millennial Pink. This one is that soft blush tone that took over Instagram a few years ago. This color was everywhere in the mid-2020s, and I mean everywhere. And it was perfectly fine, but maybe a little too caught up in its own hype. It became the poster child for that soft feminine minimalism that dominated Pinterest boards and influencer home tours. But here's the thing about Millennial Pink. Like many trends born in the age of social media, it's starting to feel like that profile picture you've been meaning to update since 2019. As we move into 2025, designers are looking for colors with a bit more depth and sophistication. So what should you use instead? Subtle Peach by Valspar is first up on our list. Think of it as Millennial Pink's more mature cousin who has a real job and a retirement plan. It's subtle, it's warm, and it doesn't scream, I based my entire personality on a Pantone color. Then there's Wildflower Honey by Becker, which is giving us all the soft, romantic vibes without the Instagram filter feel. It's perfect for bedrooms and bathrooms, and it actually looks good in real life, not just in your phone's camera. But if you really want to level up, consider going darker with Cinnamon Slate by Benjamin Moore. It's this gorgeous blend of heathered plum and velvety brown that feels both classic and current. Plus, with browns being major players in 2025's color story, you're basically hitting two trends with one stone. Now, let's talk about our fourth color heading for retirement, Slate Blue. This color came in as the softer, more approachable alternative to navy, and for a while, it was everywhere. Kitchen cabinets, accent walls, you name it. And don't get me wrong, Slate Blue had its merits. It worked well in pretty much any room and added a touch of sophistication without being too in your face about it. But as we're heading into 2025, Slate Blue is starting to feel a bit, well, blue. And not in a good way. It's giving us very I played it safe vibes when what we're really craving are colors with more personality and warmth. So what's taking its place? Let me introduce you to some blues that actually have something to say. First up is Mapped Blue by Dutch Boy, their 2025 color of the year. It's this gorgeous blue-green that feels fresh and versatile without being boring. Then there's Encore by Valspar, which is giving us all the drama we didn't know we needed. It's got these subtle violet undertones that add depth and interest. And if you're feeling really bold, check out Peacock Blue by Becker. It's bold, it's sophisticated, and it actually makes people feel something when they walk into the room. The key to making these new blues work is all in the pairing. Add some warm brass hardware, maybe some light oak flooring, and watch these colors come to life. Want to create a really current look? Pair them with creamy off-whites like Swiss Coffee by Benjamin Moore, or go bold with deep earth tones like Mocha Muse by Pantone. Last but definitely not least, we need to talk about the whites. Specifically, those cool whites with blue undertones that were basically the uniform of modern farmhouse design for the past few years. These crisp, cool whites were everyone's go-to for that clean, minimalist look. They made spaces feel bigger, brighter, and more contemporary. But in 2025, we're all craving spaces that feel more like a warm hug than a sterile hospital room. So what's the move instead? First up is White Dove by Benjamin Moore, my personal favorite and basically the goat of warm whites. It's got these subtle gray undertones that keep it from feeling yellow while still being incredibly warm and inviting. And let's not forget Alabaster by Sherwin-Williams, the kind of white that plays well with others, whether you're pairing it with bold colors or keeping things neutral. These whites are perfect for any room in your house, but they really shine when used to highlight architectural details. Think crown molding, wainscoting, or baseboards. They add that subtle touch touch of warmth that makes a space feel finished and thoughtful. And there you have it, folks. The 5 paint colors to avoid in 2025 and all the gorgeous alternatives you should consider instead. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and let me know in the comments which of these new colors are your next choice. See you in the next one.